Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. To
Another
you too.
day, another Saturday morning. Maybe we should switch
Yeah.
to Saturday night or Sunday night, but today
Yeah,
is okay. Today we're gonna do this as usual. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too. I'm fine too. Yesterday we had a little game night and we played what was the name? Code names. It's a really funny game.
I haven't heard of it. Is it
It's
like
really fun.
something you do on a computer or a board game?
Yeah, it's on a computer. So I mean it takes me too long to explain, but you can play it online, and I can definitely share a link, and it's super fun. It's super fun. We could play that too one day. We could even stream that
Sure,
because it's
let's
really
do it.
funny. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna tweet this. So we are creating today. Whoop.
Creating an ESLint rule
Yes,
or
our
plugin.
plugin, our plugin.
Could be more
Uh,
than one rule.
yeah, yeah. So let's see. Let's tweet that. Okay, so let's start. I mean, yeah, let's
Yeah,
start.
so
So
yesterday
yeah,
I found this GitHub repository. It's a QRMA ESLint plugin tutorial. I
yeah.
hope
Let
I
me let
didn't
me show that. Let me show that.
butcher the name too much, so
Yeah.
sorry for that.
So before we talk about this demo repository, the idea of today's live stream is to create a custom ESLint plugin. Because we talked about that at the company, that it could be of value to create and enforce some rules that are specific for your company or for your team, for your project. And when there is no rule out there that guarantees that what you want is enforced and created. So, and that's why you found this or started researching and found this Kurami. Oh, now I know what you mean. Kurami ESLint plugin tutorial, and you went through it and created a rule. We're gonna explain
Yeah,
that rule later, and we're gonna do it step by step and start creating this rule and show you how to use it, and also show you the AST Explorer, what it is, and how it can help you to create this rule. And we can test the rule inside the AST Explorer, right? We can just copy it and see the things. So yeah, that's basically the quick intro. So yeah,
yeah.
you found this tutorial. What can you say about it, or how? Yeah,
Well, I didn't read through like all the readmes, but he like had a couple example rules in there, and he described what every one of those rules did, and you could follow along pretty easily. But what I did was mostly just look at the code and just change it around and see what would happen, and that way I figured my way through the problem and was able to create the rule that I wanted to create.
yeah,
And the rule that we are creating today is like for our setup with tree shaking and everything, we don't want to have default named imports from the Lodash module or the default import from the Lodash module. We only want to import specific functions from Lodash from Lodash / whatever the function name is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because we
I mean,
had problems in the past with having them imported the wrong way, and we had the whole Lodash library in our bundle, and we don't want to have that in the future. And with
yeah.
an ESLint tool, it's easier to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, there are ways to tree shake Lodash easily with, and there's also a Lodash ES module, but it's a good example to show this rule here, and how to create it. I mean, we had another use case with the Material library. Do you remember that? There was also this
Yes.
case that especially VS Code imports or creates a named import from what was it, Material /core, and we wanted to have Material /core / for instance, I don't know, text input instead. Yeah, But the Lodash example is pretty easy to follow, I think, and that's why we
I think the Material one would be like pretty much the same. You just the only thing that is more complicated is you need to know more specifically where the function is coming from, because not everything is /core.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so then let's jump right into the code. I mean, as we said, this we are inspired, or this setup is inspired by the Kuami ESLint plugin tutorial. We're just gonna quickly jump into some of the files, not all the files, because it would take too long. Oh, I just saw that I could quit this one. So yeah, we have a simple README. There's nothing much inside. We have tsconfig because both of us, we are TypeScript fans here, and so we have a tsconfig. Pretty simple and basic one. Then we have a prettier config. That's our default. We are used to this config, I think, Barnabas. And the package JSON, we changed some of the settings here from the, let's say, the template repository from Kuami. But basically we have some commands here, some scripts. Most of them are for formatting and with prettier. We have defined the files we want to export when this is packaged and published, for instance. We have installed some types for ESLint, for Node. We have prettier, rimref, TS, jest, and TypeScript. These are some dev dependencies we use in this project here. And a simple and basic jest config, so we can run tests against our custom ESLint plugin rules. So yeah, I think that's it for the setup files. I mean, feel free to take a look at them more closely when we publish this and open source it. So yeah, you're still in my VS Code live share session, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just opened the index.ts file and I follow your cursor. So because you prepared most of the stuff this time, so you can start. Let's get one bigger so people can really see it pretty good. So you can start explaining what happens here.
Yeah. So this is like the index file. This is specified by how ESLint uses the plugins. It needs to have this export with the rules in it, and the rules is just a map with the rule name. And I named it no Lodash named imports, but yeah, names are hard. So
yeah. So
whatever you want.
Yeah. So this file is the basic, the main entry file for your custom ESLint plugin. So and here you export the rules that your plugin exports to the public, right? So that we can okay, got it.
And let me create a file to house the function. And then export something from there.
So I just have, you know, as always, this stream is live. We just prepare basically we just prepare the topic and prepare ourselves with some to get to know what we're gonna do and the basics. But there is no real script. That's why I just wanted to say, before we jump into creating this, should we go to the AST Explorer and or explain it, show it? Or do you think it's fair enough to just start writing the code and then explain it afterwards?
I think we can do it when we get there.
Okay.
I mean, just the first thing I would do now is also create the test file.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I just created in the same folder for now as the rule. And that way we can show how that works. I will copy over test example real quick. Okay. Oops. Okay, I'll put this here. So Did I miss? Oh, there's an S missing here. Right? So ESLint has this rule tester, and if we want to do anything with import statements, we have to specify the source type as module. Otherwise, imports can't be parsed.
Okay.
And yeah, then when we have this tester, we can just say tester.run to run a test. And we give them the name of the rule. Imports, then the rule, and then the test cases. And here we can specify code that should be valid, for example. Like import get from, okay. I will use these.
Easier.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's test tab.
Okay, so the rule tester instance, you run this one rule, the no low dash named imports. You provide the actual rule, but there is a we haven't created anything inside it, so that's why ESLint.
Yeah, it's a type mismatch.
Yeah. And then you provide a valid, and you can also provide invalid, right? So there is not just valid. Yeah. Okay. And you can write more than just one test case here. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you can just add as many cases as you wanted to the array.
Yeah. And just to be on the clear, this object you provide to the rule tester, is this the config you usually have in the ESLint RC JSON or ESLint RC JS? Is this the so you can
probably? I mean, I'm not exactly sure if you need everything, because I think
not everything, but it follows the same. Yeah, no, this config object here, which is typed as any, but is basically from the ESLint, because I know parser options is something you can define in the ESLint config.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it will make sense to be the same, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
Okay.
So just to get this working, let's copy some stuff into the import file, just to make sure that we don't have any type errors.
So here you define the actual ESLint rule. Yeah. I mean, that's the good part about having the TypeScript config and types installed, so we get here everything. I'm not sure if we have a setup problem now because I can't hear you, or are you just not saying something? No, you're gone. It's not your mic. It's not your.
Oh, okay. I think. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear you again.
Okay. I think I pressed some kind of key combination that triggered the mute.
Yeah, because you typed something, and out of a sudden there was no noise at all. So yeah, okay.
Okay. Then we have to specify a little bit more here. And here inside you can specify patterns, or like there are different keys that already specify like parts of the AST that we want to have this rule applied to.
Okay, so basically now maybe it's the time to explain this in the AST Explorer, right? So where does?
Yeah, I would just let me finish this real quick. And then let's do that. Yeah. Okay, I think this is enough to get the test running, right?
No, wait a sec.
Oh no, this. Wait. This
you need to export it.
Yeah. So.
But can't you say just export rule default? Or export default rule?
Should work too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, now it should. Yeah, now it works. Okay, now there is no TypeScript error, nothing. The linter is happy. Okay, so let's explain the import declaration here that's coming from there. So I copy and paste the import statement, and let's go to the AST Explorer. We don't need the transfer. Yeah, okay, let's remove this for now. So when I paste in the import statement we just created, or we're about to test, you see here the AST tree for that one line of code, and you see in the body that there is this import declaration. You can also click here on the import statement, and you see that this part is an import declaration. You can click on the get, and you see that inside the import declaration there is a import default specifier as the next level, and then an identifier with the name get. And this is basically what we are creating in this what was it, create function that you right. So you can say for this type import declaration in the AST tree you want to create a rule, and you get the node. This is when I go back to the code. You get the, where is it, the node here when you access the import declaration. And I think the node, let's click it here.
That's exactly what you see there, like with the type and start and. That's
the node.
Yes. Yeah.
And the cool thing about the AST Explorer page here is that you can click on anything here, and you get the type already in the AST tree. And what's also good, I mean, we don't do it, we do it in VS Code, but you can create the rule here on the bottom left. You can also create you can create a bubble plugin macro, a bubble 7 plugin, prettier stuff for ESLint, and you can do it here. You can input your code from the plugin or whatever, you get the output, you can test here, and the AST tree here. So it's really helpful. But let's go back into our Visual Code. And
I didn't see that actually yesterday when I tried this, that you can put in a ESLint rule down there.
It's really handy. When I read some articles, and I'm gonna put it into the video description, I saw that you can go here and you can say what you want to create. And when I say ESLint plugin, you even get a example code here. So this is for template literate node. It would look like this. So when I say test and I use hello world, why do not oh no, that's not that example. I'm so used to the other one. But it's really cool. It's really handy. You can test a lot of stuff here, and it even works with prettier here, so you get some fancy things, and you can save it and do it for other languages too. So that's cool. Okay, but let's go back into our code. So basically that's what we have. So we create a rule for the import declaration when it's part of the AST tree. Okay, so
maybe you can start the test in watch mode in the terminal.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's.
And maybe you could try to share another terminal, but because I still can't see any output.
Yeah, let's create a new one. So no, that's still not shared. I think let's go back to live share and create a shared terminal. Now it should work.
Yeah, now I see something.
Okay, so let's run just in watch mode. So yeah, we have 0 tests. I mean, we have a test, but with no actual rules. So that's why it fails. Okay. So let's start writing the rule for us.
Okay. It needs to have an invalid test scenario to be a valid test. It says.
Okay. So basically, we can. Is it just invalid?
Yeah, it's just invalid.
Okay, and we don't want to have imports like that.
Let's just start with this case. Like we don't want to have like this default.
Yeah, we don't want to have the entire. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So far, I mean, the valid code works because there is no one telling the ESLint that this is not valid, and the invalid fails because there is also no response from our
Yeah, for invalid test cases, we also need an error, like at least one error. This can have a message. You can have a message as a string, or you can have a message ID, and then inside the rule that you create, you can have a meta block with a messages object. And there you can specify then a key. This would be the message ID and the message itself, and then you can just use the message ID both in the test and the code, which is pretty nice. So,
that's cool.
Let's say no default low dash import, for example, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now the test fails because the valid thing is okay because we don't report any errors right now, but the invalid one fails because, like I said, we don't report any errors right now.
Yeah, nothing happened so far.
So now that we have the import declaration node, we have to check if the node I think it was source, right?
Let me check in the AST Explorer. Let's go back and add the import, so we can. Yeah, it was source. Yeah, actually it was source.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure why it's. Does it show the type for you on the node right now?
No, node is any.
Okay. A bit strange.
So what do you expect that import declaration is?
It should be an import declaration and rule dot node parent extension. And in the setup from yesterday, it was enough for me to have this specified here, because if you show, are you following my cursor?
Yeah, I follow your cursor. Yeah, the thing is that the import declaration is not typed.
Which import
there was a typo. Now it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There was a typo for the import declaration. Yeah, now it works.
So it's a source dot value, I think, right? If this is, but we can also just log it and see.
Or we could run a chest in debug mode, but I haven't set up the script.
We need to create the launch file, right? So the node, right? Node.source is type literal, source location range value, low dash get. Okay, so this is the right value.
Yeah.
So if we import from low dash, right, then we don't want to have a specifier which with the type of I think it's type, yeah, import default specifier.
Okay, so let's go to the AST Explorer to click through this. So you the Node Explorer, we go to the source. Let's go here to the source and test the value. So we get here the value. Let's create two cases. The one we are just testing is basically this one. So in this case, for the import declaration, the source value would be low dash in this example here, and what Barnabas also does is, let's see, the specifiers here. Specifier, he goes through the specifiers, and for every import default specifier, so we're basically here. So we're running through the specifiers.
That can only be one, right?
Yeah, sure. For import, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, so
if we check if we import something from loaders, we check if there is an import default specifier, because if that's the case, then that's an error.
Yeah. Okay. Right? Yeah. Okay. So with context.report, you report the error.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's here inside of the rule, we add the meta key and then add the messages, and then we said it's oh, this is a bit of a long one, so no default Lodash. Let's do it like this. Put it here. Oops. And then do not import the whole Lodash with like this. Use single functions like import get from Lodash. Okay. And then here we just say message ID, and this is now default Lodash import. And we also give the node and the message. Yeah.
And here you go.
And then
The
there's
cases.
some. Yeah.
Here you go.
It
Both
works.
tests are running.
Yeah. So this is this was the code, and this is not really fixable, right, for us?
Yeah.
Because we don't know. I mean, with a whole lot of effort, we could probably find out which methods are used from that object. But yeah, let's not do this right now.
Yeah. That would be difficult.
Yeah. Then let's create another invalid test case, right?
Yeah. So just a second. I need to. I'm AFK for a few seconds or 1 minute or two, but I follow your cursor. So just to make sure that you're just in VS Code, I'm here in a few seconds again, or 1 minute.
So yeah, let's create another invalid thing where we import something named from Lodash. So to test this, we will look at the source value again. I mean, this is the same, so probably we could nest the ifs, or we could, let's just copy it for now and then maybe refactor later. Okay, so after this if, we create the second if, and if we import from Lodash, and we have, in this case, just standard import specifiers. I think that's the name. Let me check real quick. I also have to open the AST Explorer real quickly on my end to see what this is called. Yeah, it's just import. No, it's import specifier. Okay, it's just import specifier without the default. Yeah. So if we import from Lodash and we have import specifiers, then we also have an error. In this case, we also report with the node, but we have a different message ID. Let's create the message first. No named imports from Lodash. Do not import. Do not use named imports from Lodash. Import single functions like import get from Lodash.
Okay, I'm back again. Thanks.
Okay. So then we have the different message ID here. No name import from Lodash.
So you're creating now the second test. I mean, let's see what I've missed. So you create another another test for the named import. So when you're importing, okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly, but something didn't work as expected. So the last test failed, right? And we did get the wrong error message because, yeah, I didn't didn't use the new message ID in the report for this error. Yeah, and now it should work.
Should work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now we can. We have pretty much. I mean, these are all the test cases, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what we should probably do is like make sure that we can import default import from other package, right?
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
That works.
And also down there, right? So, I mean, well, let's add another one. This is also valid, right? This is named import from other package is valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Works.
And what we can do now is we can create a fixer for the second problem because that's easily fixable.
Ah, yeah, you said that you created the fix rule or setting too. Yeah, cool. That's really cool.
So we can also, just to make it a bit more interesting, let's add 2 imports here. And then we specified, the output that should be generated after the fixer is run. Then it should look like this, right? Import get from load-get, then new line, and then next import statement. And this should fail, right? It does.
Let me see.
Because
let me see if it fails. Yeah, it fails because the output is.
The output is
output is incorrect. Yeah.
Okay. And to do this, in the report, we just add a fixer or a fix, and we get a fixer for this. And this one is pretty easy, right? We can just, I mean, if you look in the ESLint documentation, the fixer has a couple methods that you can use to replace the node or replace parts of the node's text with the different code.
Okay.
So in our case, we just replace the whole node with our new import statement. And to do this, we just filter the specifiers, right?
Ah, we filter it again. Okay.
Yeah. Just to make sure that we don't. I mean, this is. We have to think about how we want to handle this, right?
Yeah.
Because right now it's let's add that test case later.
Yeah,
right?
Let's first try this one.
Specifier dot type equals import specifier. Is that no? It's just too long, right? What is the problem?
The problem is.
Oh, okay, it's not assignable. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
And after we filtered, we map over the import thing that we still have, and then we use the specifier to create the import statement, and we do it like this: import specifier dot name. I think it has a name, right?
Yeah.
From low dash, and then we also use the specifier dot name. Then add this from like this. And then we have all the import statements, and then we join it with a new line in between.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's not named.
No, it's not.
What was it? Let me check.
Oh, I follow your cursor. That's not good.
So
there.
It's specifier.local.name.
Ah. So again, let's go through this. So the fixer is, as you said, something we get from Lodash to with certain methods. I mean, there is not just replace text. There is also other methods. So and you get again the node.
You can replace something inside of a range.
Okay.
Or before a node, or you could add a semicolon after a node.
Yeah.
That's what the rule that checks for semicolon at the end of expressions does, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, and similar to the code we had we had before, we go through, or we get the node specifier. I mean, it's the same we have here in line 28. We find the type, and if it's an import specifier, that's similar to this one here. We map through all the errors. I mean, I think the nodes you get here are the nodes where the error or occurred, right? You should just
like in our case. Yeah, in our case, the node is the import declaration, right? So it's the whole import statement.
And you map through, so you filter all imports and you map through them, and you, as you said, you rewrite them. Okay, let's see.
And the filtering I did because of a special case, because I will add another invalid case here in the tests. What happens if we have something like this? What is it that we want to happen here? The easiest way probably would be to just show the first error message.
Yeah.
And don't fix it at all.
Yeah, probably.
That way, that's like the easiest fix. Everything else is like, I think pretty much speculation, because you don't know what the user probably wants.
Yeah, right? I mean, you could still extract, get, and map and move it into another a new line, but you haven't fixed the error then still, because as you said, you're still in this case, so you still have import underscore from low-dash left. So yeah, let's stick to this one. That's a good.
Because right now I think the test would fail. I think
yeah, I need to rerun it because there was an error and everything stopped. So let's rerun it. There is still an error. Converting circular structure to JSON.
Oh, okay.
What's happening?
I had this problem yesterday, but I don't exactly know what. Let's remove the last test case again.
Yeah, but you don't need to remove it. Just let's see when it starts. Let's just comment it out. So
yeah,
let's see. So there is nothing. Yeah, now it works. Okay, so I think it started when we added this test here. So yeah.
But we had. Yeah. Okay.
So something is not working since I mean, let's see the other test. What happens with this test here? I need to restart it because every time I do this, chest crashes. Yeah, this doesn't work either. So there is something in the in this setup here. So in the context report, there might be an issue.
I think it started when we added the fixer, right?
Yeah. And I restarted it just now. So is there a typo somewhere? Ah, okay. Let's see if it still works without the fixer.
Yeah, it's just a failing test, right?
Yeah, because the output isn't correct. But let's see if this still throws an error. I mean, this one, why?
Yeah, because it has 2 errors, and we only specified 1, right? Because it's the default import error and the named import error.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's basic. So can we add 2 items here?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, so it's this. So it's no default and no. No, basically it's other way. It's no default and then no named import, right? Yeah, now it works. Okay, so the only one that's left and it's not working is the one with the fixable, with the fixer. So what's happening here?
Yeah, let's. Now we have the error again,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
But this is this based on the code you prepared?
Pretty much. I mean, mine's a bit different, structured differently, but it's more or less the same. I didn't use the filter here, but then, I mean, it would still work for this case.
Let's see. No.
No. Property parent closes to circle.
I mean, can you copy and paste exactly what you have on your machine? Because you said it works on your machine. Classic, it works on my machine.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
Oh, now you replaced everything. Okay, let's go back one step. just this part. Just this part.
Just a fixer. Okay, just let me copy the fixer.
But now I know that you have prepared a lot more. That's good. Let's create this step by step. Okay.
Where's this coming from? Okay, there's.
Yeah, that was missing. Okay, let's run the tests again.
Yeah, but it's the same code without the filter, right?
Ah, yeah, okay. So it's still not working. So this is the test case from before. Is this import?
So is it?
Well, let me see. This is import.
Node message ID.
Import specifier. What?
I think. Okay. Yesterday I read somewhere that with the fixer that ESLint tries to apply all the fixers that are
Specify?
that apply to this import statement or whatever of this part of code, and it does this up to 10 times, and it always checks if there is still an error afterwards, right? So maybe this is the loop that we get, that there is still an error afterwards. But I think so let's just log something here in the if and see how many times we get in here. Yeah.
2 times.
So 2 times.
Yeah, I mean the first one. The first one is expected, so the first one should be, and then fix it. And I think in a second loop we get an error, or we run into.
Yeah, I'm not sure because this is like, is it for like each test? Like for one for the second, the import get map, the one with the default. So I could also do that.
Yeah, maybe let's just move this away. And also this case, so we just have one, and just the one that doesn't work. Yeah, you're right. There's just one error.
Okay. So let's what makes no sense right now. So, but let's like the fixer, and it should replace the text of the node with a string, right? And we map over all the specifiers and then use them to create an import for every specifier, and afterwards we join them with a new line. So
I mean, something must be different compared to the setup you have on your local machine.
yeah, like I said, I extracted both like cases into like a data structure and then I loop over it instead of having the ifs and the else in here. But if I check the matcher, then I look for I look if we don't have any. Okay, maybe it's because of this. I check if we don't have any. Okay, maybe this if we don't have any default specifiers. Then we also don't need the filter here, which makes sense.
Nope, still doesn't work.
But it's the same problem, right? Okay, and then this is the code that I copied over. So I didn't check for this in my code, but I mean we need to check that actually. So that's a bug in my code that I prepared.
Nope.
What?
No. It still doesn't work.
Okay, yeah. So I will just create a new temp file. .ts, and then I copy my code in there so you can see it too. And then maybe like 4 eyes are better than 2, and maybe we will find.
Okay, let's see. Ah, you haven't copied it yet. Okay.
No, it's there. I mean, these are actually, this could just be if it's low dash.
And that's funny. I can't move the file as long as you're inside. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's see. I structured this way more way better.
Was? Source. Oops. Okay. Does it show an error in your editor? I think.
Yeah, there is not source dot there is an error. Cannot find name source. Can you copy and paste it again? Because I think in line 13 there is something weird going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks way better.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just deleted this line and then this and this and this low dash and so. Yeah. So this is the first case with the default specifier, right? And then the second case, we should also check if it's from low dash. Otherwise, it would show an error for all the inputs, not just for low dash inputs.
That's true.
Yeah, and everything else is pretty much the same. Can we just copy it over real quick and see if the tests work with my code?
Sure, sure.
Or,
I just copy it.
One failed because
invalid message ID. Ah, you have a different message. You have different message. Let's see. Where is your? You have error message. And no global Lodash. So if we go back to this one here and this one, so you have no default Lodash import. You have no global.
But just I don't know the names the IDs we use today are probably better than the ones I used yesterday.
Yeah, I think okay. Let's refactor that. So okay, what we did, we took Barnabas's preparation from yesterday, where he made a really clean type for the cases, and you made an array of cases to test. So this one is the first one with the default specifier. So we changed the message ID to no default Lodash import and move it here. And the second error was the no named imports from Lodash. That's the this one here, probably. And rename it here. So this is the first case. So you created the matcher and the body that's gonna do the reporting, and the valid. No, this part here is gonna do the validation, and this one is the reporter, right?
Yeah, the one checks if the case matches, right? So it tests the node, and if it's okay, it executes the body.
Was this part of the tutorial, or the matcher body case?
No,
did you just came up with that?
I came up with that.
Cool. Yeah, it looks way more.
Because I was looking like for something. I mean, like you could just use or add more cases, right?
Then it's just
you don't have to change the structure. Right?
Okay. So,
and the thing is, right now in line 63, right? I use sum. So it only executes the first case that it finds which matches, right? But you could just use for each here.
And then you can throw all the errors,
and
right?
Then,
Whoa! What just happened? Don't do a
undo.
Undo. That's really not what you want to do in live share in live share sessions. Because the history is different. Okay, so but I think sum is good, because as far as I remember from many other rules, you see an error after error. You don't see all the errors at once. You see the first error. When you fix that and there is still another error, you see it afterwards. So I think that's fine.
Yeah, you could. There are like some things that you could think about. It. I mean, it would also be possible to have two separate rules: one for the default import and one for the named imports. Which might also have some pros. Because you could. I mean, you probably want to use them both together, but that way you could have one be a warning and the other be an error.
Makes sense.
And could. I don't know how it would work, because it's the same. Like I added them together because they work on the same import statement. Right. Because if you would have them in two separate rules, they would still modify the same import declaration. I don't know what would happen then, but that's also something that you could
Yeah, let's see. So I have one question. So what's the fixable here? I mean, you have messages here, and what's the fixable here?
Okay.
So
they could also be our error.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's maybe something that should have been part of the rule meta. If it's fixable.
Yeah, you have to have it fixable in the meta if you return a fixed response. That was definitely a problem.
Yeah, that was.
Can we go back to the old code and try it with fixable? in the meta again?
Yeah, but now that I've seen your wait, let's
I just
that looks
would
that
like to check
yeah
if that was the
yeah
problem.
yeah, but it looks way better. So let's go back, see if I can go back in time until I get the old code, and then let's see if this it was the so before we let's see where was the right point in time. Going back here is a little bit. Wait, man, there is a lot of history here. Ah, oh no, he does it step. Okay, line by line. That's not. That's why it takes so long. Okay, let's go back. Give me a sec. That's interesting. Now I see how this works. No, that's still not our code.
No.
Is this our code? Yeah, this looks like our code.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So the thing was the meta, right? So there should be fixable. Why is then? Why is there no autocomplete? Code. Is this at the right place here? Yeah, meta fixable. Yeah. Okay,
and it's for the or white space. So and ours modifies the code. Yeah. No error. We have an error, but not.
Not the spooky stuff. Okay, so we got a learning.
Yeah, and now we applied both. Like we have two if, right?
Yeah.
You probably need an else if.
Yeah, that's why you put it in your code differently. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we only get one error message for the last error case, right? There's the test. Because here we only get no default, no dash import now. And we don't fix it because we can't. Yeah.
Now it works, yeah. What did you change now? What?
I just
the import specifier.
Instead of if, I used an else if.
Yeah.
Right?
Then just one error.
Then it would only apply it would only report the first error. And then from the errors array in the test, I removed the second error with the message ID for the named import.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I think.
Yeah, I mean we created it. Works.
Everything else is just different. Working on different types of nodes and stuff like that, but all in all, it's the same. The same thing for all other problems. So.
Yeah, makes sense. So should we leave this code here, or should we add your more sophisticated?
You can use mine. I'm okay with that.
Because I like that structure. Now that I've seen it, it's like you've seen something shine, and you're looking at this and you think, no, I could do it. Nah. Oh, yeah.
Can't go back to that.
Yeah, the sun is shining brighter there.
Yeah, the grass is always green on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, there's this.
Yeah, you probably have to the message IDs, right? Probably have to change the message IDs again.
Yeah. So yeah, what else could we do? I mean, this is a Lodash example, but you can go from here and create all sorts of rules for your company. I mean, this is just one thing we came up with, but you can do a lot more.
I mean, one thing that I think it could be like really useful is if you have like a really big project and you have to do like a major version upgrade from one of the libraries, and there is like some deprecated stuff in there, then you could just create an ESLint rule that would fix all the deprecated warnings in the code base.
Yeah.
Or all the errors in the code base. So every time you have something that you need to change in a lot of places, then it might be easier to just create one ESLint rule instead of just going through the whole code base and doing it by hand. So that's also something that I think is a good use case for this.
Yeah, and you can do all sorts of stuff. I mean, I've seen one creating a custom ESLint rule forcing to have variable names with more than 2 characters. So you would not be allowed to say const, I don't know, mt or pt or whatever. You would need to have 3
Yeah,
chars.
you could also, yeah.
Uh,
You could probably also make your code base PG-13 and say all the swear words are not allowed in your code base with an ESLint.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen another tutorial where yeah, he enforced not using certain words. So yeah, you could make it safe for work or whatever. So you're not allowed to say go away Internet Explorer. Or yeah, you could that would be an interesting rule, that you're not allowed to mention Internet Explorer, so that your code base is Internet Explorer free. That would be funny, man.
Yeah, I mean, there are valid use cases for stuff like this. If you have to like give your code base to your customer after the project is done, you might don't want to have comments with swear words in them or something like that.
And one other thing, I mean, this, how can we, we're talking about CSS. Is how can you specify which type of which file type is inspected? Can you say this rule only applies to JS, JSX, TS, and TSX files? Hi, Stefan. Is this something you can do?
Well,
because
I'm not completely sure.
Because let's say,
I mean,
you have a different file here. You have a different, or let's say for some reason, I'm not sure. I cannot think of a rule that would, you can create custom CSS rules, but for instance, one thing I would love to do together with you in an advanced and follow-up session, to create a StyleLint, a custom StyleLint plugin where you, for instance, disable certain CSS rules you're not allowed to use when the project has to support Internet Explorer or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because in many cases, I mean, there are polyfills, don't get me wrong, you can fix a lot of that stuff, but it would be interesting if there is a StyleLint plugin telling you, hey, don't use that or don't use that because you have to support Internet Explorer.
I mean, do you know a rule that is working on CSS? I mean, it probably would be just the easiest to check another rule that works on CSS and see how it's done.
You mean in this example here?
No, just find another GitHub.
Okay, we need
ESLint rule that works on CSS, and then just check what he did differently, he or she, or
yeah, we could test that, but let's do this in a follow-up stream. But that's just one thing I was wondering if we could. I mean, the question was initially how to make sure this rule runs only against JS files or TypeScript files. But I think the import default specifier is maybe something that's specific in the AST tree for this. I'm not sure, maybe. So if you have a JSON,
I mean, can you in the AST Explorer can you put in CSS or something?
Yeah,
like
I can
that?
say here it's you get a CSS. You can change the language here to pretty much everything. And when I say let's go. Oh wait, I need to go back to the code view. And when I say CSS, you get a example CSS here. And then you see it's a CSS style sheet with 3 rules here, and you can go down the tree and see where it works. And the only transformer that's, there are other transformers available now. So no ESLint rule, because I was wondering, because ESLint, you need to use StyleLint for CSS.
Yeah, you can inject custom parsers, right?
But here you can create your own post CSS tool. I mean, that's also cool. You could with the post CSS tool, you could remove, for instance, certain rules which are not allowed to. But that would be dangerous, because you would not see, you would have code in your data in your in your editor or in your code base that's removed with the post CSS afterwards, and you might not expect that to happen, especially when you're doing code reviews and you don't see that the code is removed with the post CSS tool. But it's interesting. I mean, you could also see, let's go Markdown. Oh yeah, you can create own remark tools. That's also cool. So where you can
I mean, the AST Explorer by itself is a really cool tool.
Yeah,
just on its own.
That's right.
It's also like really cool. It's the first time for me working with ASTs, more or less.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, I tried make macros in Elixir, with which you can modify your AST at compile time, but I didn't do a lot with that. So this is like the first real thing I did with this. So yeah.
I mean, even you can even do the S tree with SQL. You can also do stuff like that. Yeah, you can create your own SQL.
Maybe we can create ESLint tools for SQL code.
Let's start small.
I mean, it would be possible if you could just you could use the SQLite parser and then why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, probably could also create a nice SQL formatter for VS Code, because everything I tried didn't really satisfy what I wanted. But
yeah, it's. I mean, you can do a lot, as you said. You can do really a lot. But I think for today we did a lot. We created our own VS Code. No, not VS Code. ESLint plugin that checks some or enforces some Lodash rules. Are you gonna publish this on? I mean, you should publish this on NPM, and so we can link it in the description. If you want to publish it.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it if you want. I didn't create the repo or anything yet, so
yeah, let's think about it.
You will publish this, right? And then
yeah, let's think about.
I mean, there's no. Yeah.
What is there?
I mean, I will create it. If you don't publish it, I will create it probably next week, because I'd like to introduce it in the company. Yes.
Sure. I mean, it's your code. We just streamed it.
Even if it wasn't my code, it's still MIT, so everybody can use it.
Let's do it this way. We decide this afterwards and talk about it. But thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, guys. It was a pleasure as always. I hope you enjoyed this quick how to create an ESLint plugin session, and see you next time. Bye, Stefan, and all the other guys.
Bye.
Bye.